Maria Saporta, reporter with the Atlanta Business Chronicle and founder of SaportaReport.com, a website. I introduced Ralph de la Vega, who is one of the most interesting executives in Atlanta. His background coming from Cuba, alone when he was 10 years old, and living here in Miami for 4 years without his family, and with people he barely knew when he came, and how he has made himself into one of the leading executives in the field of mobile communications. He has really helped put Atlanta on the map when it comes to business services for communications, and he gave us the whole menu of the things that AT&T is working on in terms of digital TV, in terms of how every item in our house is going to be connected to the internet, how our cars are going to be connected to the internet, many already are, how they'll communicate to one another, and it's the new age. It's not the future, it's already here.
I really wanted to do essentially 3 things today, and I'll take your questions at the end. Number 1, give you an update on what AT&T is doing these days. We just completed a very significant merger with DirecTV, and I wanted to give you why we did that merger and the impacts that merger will have in our company. But then I'm going to take a little bit different tact and share with you the 6 strengths that I think are shaping our business, that are going to shape the way you live and work in the future, and the role that Atlanta has to play in that space because of the investments that we at AT&T have made here in Atlanta. Let me give you what the new AT&T is like today. And our world dramatically changed in July of this year when we acquired DirecTV. AT&T now is the world's largest pay TV provider with 45 million pay TV subscribers in the world. Number 1 in the world. We're also now number 1 pay TV subscribers in the United States of America. And we're a great player in Latin America. We now have over 26 million customers that are pay TV subscribers in the United States. We also recently completed the purchase of 2 Mexican wireless operations, Nextel and Ayusacell. And so now we have 8 million customers in Mexico. When you combine that with 124 million customers that we run here in the United States, it's 132 million wireless subscribers. AT&T now has a run rate of about 160 billion in annual revenues. And we also have now the content that all of you want, the NFL Sunday Ticket for those that love football. But the expansions into Mexico and into Latin America and into DirecTV give us something really, really unique. And in the United States, what we now have for the first time is one company that has the TV assets and the wireless assets to put those 2 things together. And why is DirecTV and content and wireless go together? Is because of you. You want everything that's on the TV, on your mobile device, on your tablet, anytime, anywhere, especially the younger generation. So to us, it made sense to put our DirecTV assets and the wireless assets together, and we're now launching that nationwide. In terms of the business that I run today, I now run AT&T's Mobile and Business Solutions organization. What we did is we put mobility and business together because today business doesn't get done without mobile services. And we were running them from separate divisions. So now I head that organization here in Atlanta. We deliver of the 160 billion of revenues for AT&T, 100 of the 160 are delivered through my organization. We serve 3.5 million business customers in over 200 countries in the world. So mobility is a domestic company, but our enterprise market is global. We actually serve those 3.5 million businesses in over 200 countries, and they include some of the biggest businesses in the world, from the IBMs to your local plumber and everything else in between. It's a truly unique organization. We have 10,000 a 10,000 strong business sales force throughout the world, and over 5,000 distribution points. So we are one of the few truly worldwide global organizations that probably not too many people have written about, headquartered out of here, out of Atlanta. Of course, our operations are globally, but there's probably only a few companies in the world that can lay claim to the assets that I just spoke about. What I want to do next is kind of pique your interest as to what are the trends that we see, and how does this company with this incredible set of assets take advantage of these changes. And actually, some of the people in the audience here are actually the ones that are causing some of these changes, so I'll call you out when appropriate. Let me touch about the first one, and this is really significant in so many ways. We're saying that software today is transforming entire industries. That software is now easier to do, it's faster, it's better and cheaper with application programming interfaces, agile development. Software is absolutely transforming the way that business gets done. And it wasn't too long ago that Mark Andreessen, the famous venture capitalist, said in a Wall Street Journal article back in 2011, it seems so long ago, that software was eating the world. That was his famous quote back then. And the company that he chose to highlight that was Amazon, in the way that Amazon was challenging the traditional store retailers that were in place. And that is true. But now there's something else happening in software that is absolutely transformational. And that is that software is finding itself into networks. And so now you have software-defined networks. You have virtualization that's taking place. And you have more and more open networking standards that are causing software to change the work that gets done. In my business, in business enterprises, security is a big issue, okay? And most big companies have firewalls. They have these firewalls that they put up so that their enterprise networking gear is protected. Those things used to be a piece of hardware. That used to be like a pizza box that you would take and you would install it in your data center, and you got your firewall, and you may not know this as, if you weren't in that space, but that's the way it was done. Today, it's software. There's no screws to turn on, there's no things to connect, there's no hardware to be shipped, it's all virtual. That's the way that the new software is getting deployed, and the implication of that is the workforce that used to be available and still available to us, that used to know how to turn the screws and connect the cords, they have to be retooled, they have to be retrained so they can go into the new world of software. I'm going to speak about that later, but it's absolutely transformational to business, and it's highly impacting our business because we have a lot of people, hundreds of thousands of people that are used to doing things the old way, that are in the process of getting retooled to doing things the new way. So that is software. But now there's something else happening that's making that software be even more important. That is mobility. When you have devices that are mobile, mobilization enables the software then to move to the cloud, because those devices are so small you can't put huge amounts of software in them. They're getting better and better, but when you have mobile devices, typically the big applications and the data resides where? In the cloud, right? The famous cloud. And so what do you need to be able to get to your data and your applications in the cloud if you have a mobile device? Connectivity. That's what we do. That is what we do. And we do it really, really well anywhere around the world. That's what customers love to do. So as stuff moves to the cloud and takes advantage of mobility, the same Andreessen group that 4 years ago said software is eating the world has changed their slogan. They no longer say software is eating the world. What they now say is mobile is eating the world. And that's the first name of my organization. You have to love it when you hit upon a big trend, right? You can't go wrong with that. Mobile is eating the world. And now the example that he uses is no longer Amazon, but a company that many of you probably know and use, Uber. Uber is our customer. We started with Uber when they were first started, and Travis Kalanick was not a known person. He's got a $50 billion valuation, and he keeps getting higher. And he has transformed that taxi business using what? using a smartphone, software in the cloud. He owns no cars. It's a beautiful business model, right? He's got one of the biggest fleets at his command, but he doesn't own any of those assets. And what makes that possible? It's the software, it's the mobile devices that are dramatically changing the way people work. So this movement of putting things in the cloud, there's no stopping that. That's where it's going. And if stuff goes to the cloud, anybody that used to work on that stuff that was hardware driven, it's going in a completely different place. That's the second one. The third one is the reason that we're into DirecTV is video and entertainment video is exploding. And it's exploding in mobile devices. Our network today that used to be a voice-driven network has more than 50% of its capacity devoted to video. We're now running not an AT&T mobility network, we're running an AT&T video network because most of the traffic is video on mobile devices, on tablets, on PCs, you name it. And also, we don't see anything that's going to change it. The other thing that we see is that not only is entertainment video exploding, business video is about to explode. I run a lot of my business with video. I used to be, Maria mentioned this before, our chairman, Randall Stevenson, is headquartered in Dallas. So it used to be that every Monday morning, I would have to get up and take a plane, fly to Dallas to attend his staff meeting in Dallas. I'd have to get up probably about 4 o'clock in the morning, catch a plane, and go to Dallas, spend a day there, and come back. That's how my week started. I would tell my wife, I don't want to go to dinner late on Sunday because I got to get up at 4 o'clock, and it really impacted the quality of life for us. So now, Randall takes all his meetings via video. I just show up in my office here in Atlanta. I have a video room across the office from me, and it's almost like if I'm there virtually. And we do all of our work that way. So our senior team can be anywhere in the world, and we can still have a staff meeting on Monday at the appointed time. No, what's really changing, that happens today, but what's really changing is the equipment that I use is super expensive, probably $100,000 or so to equip a good telepresence video room. That's going to cost $1,500 here shortly. And it'll have comparable quality. So I tell people that every conference room in the future will be a video conference room. And you will be saying to yourself, gosh, I can't believe that we were doing all these meetings just trying to talk to each other on the phone, not being able to see the other people, not being able to send pictures and videos. I tell people that the cost of video equipment to send your video is going to be cheaper than the conference room table. So you wonder why you wouldn't add it. That is also part of our business. That's what we do. We connect people to video conferences. You can see that I'm hitting on themes that present to you with a great growth opportunity for our new company. The fourth thing is something that is truly, truly amazing, and that is the Internet of Things. And the Internet of Things are things that are going to be connected to the Internet that have never been connected to the Internet before. These are things that are not mobile devices, tablets, or personal computers, laptops. They forecast that there are going to be 50 billion things connected to the Internet by 2020. 50 billion things. It's almost unimaginable. What do we mean by that? I'm talking about watches, I'm talking about cars, I'm talking about homes, I'm talking about every conceivable thing will be connected to the Internet. I'll give you a couple of examples so you get the implications of this. We were one of the first companies that saw this trend coming, and that's one of the reasons we built the AT&T Drive Studio right here in Atlanta to lead the revolution of connecting the car. When we started connecting cars to the Internet, car manufacturers told me point blank to my face, we don't need this route. And they had a very valid point. They said people are going to bring their devices to the car. They're going to bring their smartphones to the car. Why do we need the car to be connected? And we always viewed that having the car connected would add huge value to the car manufacturers. Think about it this way. You have two cars. One car is connected to the Internet, and you get real-time operational data on that car 24/7. You know the status of the battery, you know the status of the alternator, you know the status of the tires, You know everything about that car if you're an engineer, and I love engineering data. So that car is going to give the manufacturer all the data that they want. This other car is not connected to the internet. How does the manufacturer get data from that car? The only time they get it is when you take it to a service station, and maybe even then the manufacturer doesn't get it. So you only get it when the car breaks down, not before the car breaks down, and you can do something to change it. Do you think if you had a choice you would buy the car from company A, who gets 24/7 data, or the one who gets it in a batched mode whenever the driver wants to give you the data? Do you think there's an advantage to one or the other? I think the car companies get it today, and there's very few car companies that are not saying our cars are going to be connected today. But it goes beyond cars. Right now we have our cars talking to our digital iPhone. So when the car's getting close enough to the house, the car tells the house to open the garage door, to turn on the lights, and turn up the air up and down. You don't have to do anything. Those are the kind of things that are happening. But it gets even more interesting than that. You know, even people here in this audience, Sam Samaripa gave me a startup company that he's involved with, which actually has an intelligent baby bottle for babies that are born prematurely, so that the doctors can better understand the capability of that infant to really take the bottle and get nourishment from it. And then they take data from that and they put it where? In the cloud. So they can draw inferences about the capability of infants to do this and therefore help improve the mortality rates. This is the way the world is going. We just announced, to give you another example, Maersk. We're connecting all the cargo containers for Maersk. Why? Maersk, these are the big cargo containers you see going across the ocean that are boxes. And those containers were being shipped across the ocean. Sometimes they would ship one from Spain, and it would take them 2 years to make the journey back to Spain. In the meantime, they had no idea where the containers were. They had no connectivity. So we now are connecting 390,000 of those containers to the internet, anywhere they are in the world, through our program of connectivity. And that gives them real-time operations data on what their businesses are doing. So these are absolutely incredible things that are going to impact everything from baby bottles. We now have connected wheelchairs. You name it. Everything that is out there, sooner or later, will be connected to the internet in some way or shape or form, and it'll provide huge value add. Now, here's the downside and the upside of that, is that with all these things connected, there's an ever-increasing concern about security. And we can never do enough to protect our assets and data from hackers that are going to constantly try to obtain it. And so another huge trend for us is just the wave of just emphasis on security today. If you're a chief information officer for a company today and security is not number one, you've got your priorities in the wrong place. I don't know a single one that when I talk to them doesn't tell me that's my number one priority, is protecting the data that I have, and it's absolutely critical. You can see the Experian example, 15 million, that's the latest one, but you can look at all the public records. It's absolutely critical. And that's also a growth opportunity for the new company, because that's what we do in my business. We help big companies protect and secure their data with the products that we have. That's number 5. And then number 6 is global. Even though we may be here in Atlanta, our business today is a global business. We have the folks from ZTE right here in the front that are global players as well. We can't do anything in telecom in this space without being global. And you have to keep your eye out on everything that's happening globally. But my customers tell me is that we want you to do for us, Ralph, what you're doing in the U.S. throughout the world. We want you to take the worries of having me to deal with 20 different carriers in 20 different countries to set up a worldwide network, which is the way the world operates. So it's giving us a tremendous opportunity to change. So the way that we view our business, and today I have responsibility for wireless and wireline in business and mobility, we have really transformed our network quietly over the last year. You may not even know about it, but we have put software-defined network capabilities in our wireline network. Our legacy wireline network now has an overlay of software that we have worked on with several of our partners that essentially make the old wireline network a network on demand. So we tell people that the network today is on demand. And for us to tell you that when we had fixed wireline services that by its definition were fixed, you couldn't move them, hard to adjust, you'd have to place an order, you'd have to go through a whole cycle. Now when we have fiber in a building, we let the customer actually tune the bandwidth on that fiber. So if they need more bandwidth to do a video call or to have a town hall, they can do it themselves, and they can do it in less than 90 seconds. And we have that service now in 180 markets. That didn't exist a year ago. That's the kind of changes that we've made over the last year when we put these two organizations together. So I tell people now that our three basic missions are our network is on demand, that the office today is mobile, and that cloud is highly secure when you deal with AT&T. We guarantee that we can give you those three things, and those are the things that we're asking customers to really give us their business on. So how did we get there? How did we do this? Well, we've been investing in the future. We really think in today's environment with the changes that are going on that we have to invest. And one of the things we've invested in are foundries. These are what we call the innovation centers, where we take our employees and partner employees, and we put them in places where we think there's great innovation happening in the spaces that I just talked about. We only have 4 in the world. One in Palo Alto, California, which is right in the heart of Silicon Valley. We have one in Dallas, Texas. You would think you would have one in our headquarters town. Of course we do. We have one here in Atlanta, our Georgia Tech Square, which Stephen Fleming is here, was critical in helping us get that site, and one in near Tel Aviv, Israel, because that's where we see innovation is happening. And here in Atlanta, we also built the first ever, what we call AT&T Drive Studio. We have signed up more major car manufacturers than any other provider. And in terms of working with cars, we realized that we didn't have a garage to work on a car. You know, we found our technicians working in the parking lot in a car. Well, you know, these are not garages in the sense that you're changing oil. You know, you're changing digital stuff in the car. So we had the foresight to actually build a drive studio near the AT&T foundry, near Georgia Tech, which is where everything is happening today. And it's been a huge hit. Let me give you a sense of how big this is and why it's headquartered in Atlanta. It's headquartered in Atlanta because Georgia Tech is in Atlanta. And there's a great contingency of our friends from Georgia Tech, Stephen Fleming and Sil Galil, who are just heads their computer sciences department. Terrific, terrific support. Let me give you the cars that we connect so you get a sense of how big this facility is in Atlanta. First of all, we connect every General Motors new car. All 33 models are connected by us. We connect every new Audi. We connect the Ford Focus. We connect all the Jaguars. We connect all the Land Rovers. We connect all the Subarus. We connect all the Nissans. We connect all the BMWs. We connect all the Volvos. And we connect all the Teslas. That's not bad. That's 10 that I just counted, and I will tell you there's about 15 car manufacturers in the world. We got 10 out of 15, and I haven't even announced all the deals that we are about to sign yet. We'll add more. And all those deals are being done through our Internet of Things division, the Connected Car division, headquartered right here out of Atlanta, out of the foundry and the stuff that we did with Georgia Tech. So that is happening because we saw innovation here. And all those car manufacturers quietly have been through our drive studio and know the commitment that we have made to this effort. So in addition to the foundry, we have the drive studio. We also have AT&T Digital Life. You know, we bet a while back on developing an all IP, all digital home security and automation business that we call Digital Life. It's headquartered right here in Atlanta as well. And I'm going to give you some figures on that one in just a minute. And quietly, we also placed in Atlanta when we bought Leap Wireless, Cricket Wireless. We bought Cricket and we reinvigorated the brand, and it's headquartered in Midtown. We now have a big building that used to be a Bell South building, Maria, that's now a big Cricket building, and it's got a beautiful Cricket sign up there. So let me give you some specifics about what these 4 different things have done for Atlanta. First of all, if you didn't know it, Cricket led every other prepaid provider in the country in the first half of this year adding customers. Cricket, right here in Atlanta, led by Jennifer Van Buster, one of our newest members of the executive suite, and a person that I really, really admire. In connected cars, we have led the entire industry, the entire world, by connecting cars. We have 23 million connected devices. In that division, we're number 1. And I tell folks that, you know, Atlanta does have some traffic issues now and then. I'm sure you run into those. And it used to be that I would be in those traffic jams and I would get really frustrated. I don't do that anymore. I just look around and I see that car is connected by me, that car is connected by me, that car is connected by us, and I see ka-shing. I see the cash register going ka-shing, and I just relax and I go, you know, it's going to be a great day no matter how long it's going to take me to get there. On digital life, I'm proud to tell you, just like we're leading in connected cars, we're leading with Cricket. Digital Life led all of the home and security automation companies in the country in adding customers in the first half of 2015 as well. We actually have so many sensors in houses these days that we now monitor 4 million sensors from our Digital Life business that started maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. It is really amazing. I can tell you that I have about 100 of them in my house. And it monitors everything from water leaks to garage doors that stay open, and remotely allows me to monitor the house no matter where I'm at. So we really have got things that we have brought to Atlanta because we believe that Atlanta has the infrastructure that allows innovative businesses like this to flourish. And I can't think of any other new startup businesses that AT&T has launched with such success as these businesses that we think have an opportunity to grow into billion-dollar businesses. We're a $160 billion business. We don't grow small businesses. We grow small only to the extent that they show us the potential to grow big, and that's the way we believe in it. We also have we brought some notoriety to Atlanta by working with a GSMA. We brought the GSMA Americas Conference here 2 years in a row now. We're going to have the Mobility Conference later on in October. I'm proud to tell you that we serve now a huge population of employees here in Atlanta and Georgia. We now have 20,000 employees in Georgia, which is one of the largest employers for Georgia. And we have invested. We had our accountants go back and tell me how much we've invested in the past 3 years. We've invested $5.4 billion in Georgia. So we really believe in what you have here. And let me go back to the people side. Oh, by the way, we're also continuing to invest with our latest products here called GigaPower. If you want fiber-based gigabit speeds, we just announced a whole set of communities from Atlanta, Sandy Springs, Decatur, Noonan, Brookhaven, Milton, Dunwoody, Woodstock, and we just this week announced Johns Creek, Athens, Covington, and Smyrna. So we're fibering all of those communities with the state-of-the-art fiber, and if you get a gigabit per second service, there's nothing better in the world, and we're bringing it to Atlanta. Now, I wanted to tell you the investment that we've made in education. You remember at the beginning when I said that this world is changing, and it's changing from hardware to software. The job we have is really huge. I think when you ask our chairman, Randall will tell you that the job of retooling our people is actually bigger than transforming our network. We have over 250,000 employees, and we're rapidly moving from a hardware-driven world to a software-driven world where stuff is in the cloud and it's all managed through software, through virtualization. And we were lucky enough to work with Georgia Tech in what was one of the first Masters of Computer Science degrees that was offered online using the massive open online course capability called MOOCs. We have Zil Galil right here, who is the brainchild. Would you please stand up, Zil? I mean, this man is world renowned. He's right here. Yes.
Not one of the first.
The first. I tell you.
Also very modest.
Yeah, very modest. Yeah, that's why he is what he is. But Sil did something amazing, you know, and credit to Georgia Tech, because I know that that universities make a lot of money on their graduate courses. The beautiful thing about this online course is you can essentially, and he'll correct me, give you the exact figures, for approximately $7,000. It's a little bit less than that. You can get a master's degree from Georgia Tech on computer science using this format. That is huge. And the reason we invested and funded that course from AT&T is because our heartfelt belief that we need to transform our employees. So still, I think we have, what, 200 employees or so enrolled?
The largest employer.
The largest employer, and for our employees, we totally pay their master's degree because it's so inexpensive. So the only thing you have to do is pass Zill's entrance exam, which is tough. It's some really tough courses, but we have 200 employees that are there, and you probably have thousands now in the course, right?
3,000.
3,000. Funded by AT&T, started in Atlanta, first in the world, and I saw Zill going to Harvard to explain to Harvard what we were doing here in Atlanta. So you can see the impact that all of this has had. In addition to that, not everybody needs a master's in computer science to do the job that we need them to do. So we also work with Udacity. It's the same company that Zill works with us on, to have nano degrees. A nano degree is just what it means. It's a degree on some function that you accomplished. You're certified that you've completed the courseware needed to allow you to perform that job. And I can remember when we first made that available to our employees, we had tens of thousands sign up on the first day, because the employees know that we're on this journey. But we've been very, very transparent with our employees, in that we have told them by job title how many jobs we have today in this title and how many we're going to have 5 years from now. So if you're working on hardware, a particular job title, and may have 500 jobs today, we're telling you 5 years from now, that's going to be 50. We also tell you that we have 50 jobs today in software. In 5 years, that's going to be 500. And here's a curriculum that you have that you can take to get you from where you are to where you want to be. And then it's a personal choice of what you want to do. But we're making that available. And it's unlike any transformation that I've seen anywhere, any company, because when we tell people we're doing that, they go, "You mean you're telling them the jobs in this span of time?" I say, "Yeah, because we're trying to be transparent. We know that they have to transform." And, you know, some employees take us up on it. They immediately sign up for the courses. And other employees say, "You know what, I really only have 2 or 3 years before I want to retire, and I'm fine where I'm at, and I'm going to make a choice to stay there." And that's beautiful, because you still need people to maintain the old technology for a few years to come. It's not going to go away overnight. So it really is a great way to address both. So I've given you a pretty wide-ranging view of what the new AT&T is like. There's not too many companies like the new AT&T with entertainment capabilities, the mobile capabilities, the enterprise capabilities that we have. I've told you the 6 strengths that I personally feel are key. These are Ralph's strengths. They're what I really believe in. And I've given you the role that Atlanta is playing in this space, and it's just fascinating. So I'm excited about what our business is doing. I'm really particularly excited about what is happening right here in Atlanta, with many of you in the audience playing a role. So let me stop my comments here.